Okay. I got a little bit of training for you, a little bit of mindset, and hopefully, and then we're going to go into some action, some really like relatable things. But this is a book, I will tell you, I just decided to reread, listen to it again at the
Adler, right
beginning of
there.
the year.
Stay.
And thanks for the shout out. They're excited about that too. Um, but if you've never read this book, Good to Great, and there was a precursor to it called Built to Last. And I mean, I get goosebumps when I think about this because I was just, I have a lot of books. I read a lot of books. But I was like, something in me was like, I need to read Good to Great again. So I was listening to it, reading it, and then everything about it was just like, man, this reminds me of what Roger has done with Shackley. Like he has put us from a good company to right now, we are in a state of stepping into great. But what excites me even more, and you guys saw that on Saturday, is this is something that is built to last. This is something that can be willed to your kids, those of you that have kids. This can be multiple generations. We're all about that. We hope, all of you are all about that, but let alone if it's just you, it's built to last your whole life through. And so I just want to share a few things from this book because it was written over 25 years ago, but it was researched 5 years before that. And I will tell you that so many leadership people and books and themes that you hear today, the last 20 years, have all been pulled from this book. Like as I listened to it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the way. Like everything I need to do to be successful. And it reminded me of the things that I'm not doing and the things that I need to do that are so important. And so if you've never listened to it, grab the ebook, or, the Audible and do it or grab it. And so here's the high level. Hopefully it's just a teaser and I'm selling Jim Collins books for you guys today. I don't have an affiliate link. I won't send it to you. No. But this is absolute truth. Like I say, like these absolute truths are like gravity, like you fall off the roof, like you fall and you hit the ground. So when I say an absolute truth, like this is who goes from good to great. And the best part is we can all do this. And so number one is they said these companies that went from good to great, they had disciplined people. And I'm going to break it down for you guys just a little bit more. And so what's better than in the new year to be able to say, you know what? I can and will become a disciplined person in my business and around me. And then they also had disciplined thoughts. And then they took disciplined action. And then they also knew their hedgehog, which I've talked about a few times, but I realized Bethany later was just like, Wayne, what does the hedgehog mean again? And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't explain that well enough. So I'm going to explain with clarity what he means by the hedgehog. But real quick, what is it? This applies for us now. So what is a disciplined Shackley? What is disciplined Shackley people or a person? This is what I would say is they have their goals written down. They work from a schedule. They track their work. They take ownership. Let's do that one again. They take ownership, right? Yeah, I love that one. Here's another one that he says in the book, and I was just like, oh, preach to me. They don't need to be motivated. Like, here's the thing. Nobody has to motivate Wayne and Bethany. We are internally self-motivated by the vision and the purpose and the team and what we know. And so I don't need someone to come wind my clock. My clock is always winding. Okay. And that's the same for all the leaders. And I just want you to have a little checkup from the neck up and look in the mirror and go, you know what? To go next level in 2026, to go from good to great, do I need to step up my ownership? And do I need to be someone that is self-motivated? Yes, you do. Okay. So there you go. And then disciplined Shackley thoughts. We need to have disciplined Shackley thoughts. So like believe in the vision, but also trust the process. And this is what I love. Social media is so dangerous because it always makes us feel like we're behind and we're not doing enough and all this stuff. But the one thing about all the good to great stories is they trusted the process and it actually took longer than they thought it was, but it was worth it. So like loving the process, loving the journey, loving that each person could be a powerful person that you could impact and change their lives, right? So thoughts of I want to help others win, right? We always say HELP. How do we help? We help others win. How? HOW. I spelled it wrong. How do I do Shackley? Is we help others win. So that's a thought when you wake up in the morning. Who can I help win today? Who can I help win with the products or the business? And they don't complain and they add value everywhere they go. Okay. These are just Wayne takeaways. So this is kind of from the book, not from the book, but I'm trying to apply it to your Shackley business to get you to go from good to great with us this week or this year. Well, you can do it this week too. But we just know that the foundation is set. And then discipline, Shackley action, which is use the tracker. If you're someone that's like always scattered, like use that tracker, put in the work, take action, even if it's messy. Messy action. We always say just messy action, showing up. Like I think about that with my workouts. Like a lot of people think that I like to work out. I actually don't love to work out. I like to do activities that require working out. And like I want to stay young for my kids and be able to, beat up my sons. So and keep away boys from my daughters. But I just know that doing something is always better than nothing. So with my workout, sometimes I'm like, I don't have very much time. Okay, like something is better than nothing. So messy action is always better. So something, I mean, there's so many disciplined people on a team that show up every day. It's not perfect, but people are like, that person's different. They're showing up every single day, right? And then again, I guess I like this one. They don't have to be motivated. They don't have to be motivated. Find the fire inside you because no one can keep your fire lit. It has to come from the inside. It needs to come from the inside. And then you're just fueled by that purpose and vision to help others win, right? So we got to take the action. So a couple other things along these lines. So discipline Shackley action, voila, we have this activity tracker. This thing is gold. We challenged you, in Drive to Director. We made this at the beginning. This is just like a fundamental of anyone that's successful is they track their results. They put it on paper. They have the goals. So I would encourage you to go from good to great, right? And not end up at the end of, January 27 when we're having this call, be like, why am I still a director? Or why am I still not at the pro level? And it's like, it's probably because you weren't a disciplined person that had disciplined thoughts that didn't take disciplined action in your hedgehog. Okay. And so it's simple to solve, but it is solved by you and with coaching, working with the people around you too, of course. So let me just define this. And again, I kind of gave this caveat at the beginning. I'm going to tell you guys, Wayne and Bethany, what is our hedgehog? Might not be your hedgehog. Your hedgehog could be BioCell all day, every day. Cover North America and BioCell. Or trim and BioCell, whatever it might be. But remember, with Shackley, there's so many opportunities to have a hedgehog that you can absolutely just crush. So what are you deeply passionate about from the product side? And what do you believe you can be the best in the world at serving people with that specific product regimen? And then what drives your economic engine? So we've asked, for us, we asked ourselves this question. Bethany and I were like, what are we passionate about? Oh, we're passionate about rocking people's bodies and restoring them very fast so that they're eating out of our hands saying, what do I do next? Like, I can't believe these results I had. That's what we love. Okay. And we believe we can be the best in the world at that with the people that come to us. And that can drive our economic engine, this flywheel. Okay. So I want to share with you that, while people are starting to do the protein reset, this is just an invite for you. Okay. Do the protein reset, get everyone going on that. And Allison's going to jump on in a second and show you some of the tools we have to do that. But if you want to tap into our hedgehog, we're more than willing to share everything. It's out on boards. We have the 7-day power sculpt. Everything is there to teach you that. There's actually a version for Canada because they don't have the 7-day healthy cleanse. But what we're seeing is we're able to double our sales, double happy customers, and they become your walking billboards where people are like, dang, what happened to you? And they're like, I did the protein reset and then I did this power sculpt and I am like shredded, or like I am like on track. I'm going. So again, if it's just the protein reset, that can be your hedgehog. If it's BioCell and trim, that can be your hedgehog. If it's skincare, but find it and really drive into it with those principles I was talking about before. But I'm just going to tell you a couple stories. Here's an image from ChatGPT. I just wanted to make sure everyone was paying attention because GPT makes the craziest images. And I was like, this is crazy, but I'm going to share it tonight. So, anyways, I feel like getting people on the protein reset or the power sculpt is like this snowball that picks up more and more people. So I told Chat GPT today, make me a snowball with people. So like, look at, here's my first customers. And then all of a sudden, like eventually I had a baby, I had this construction worker, this guy with a thumbs up, but it starts to roll. And again, ambassadors come out of that snowball. So this is a horrible image, but you guys are getting what I'm talking about. This is what happens if you do this right. It creates a snowball and more people get picked up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and ambassadors come out, new directors come out. And it's kind of what Melanie was talking about on Saturday it's the same framework that we've used years and years and years to get people results, find the people that want to share and help others win and just serve the customers. So a couple other examples for us, with the Power Sculpt 7. So our friend Lainey, Bethany's friend Lainey, I mean, we're both friends with her, but it's more Lainey. She's a yoga instructor, but she got one of her friends to do the Power Sculpt in November, lost a ton, shredded down, and all of her sisters said, hey, what are you doing? We want to do that too. So now she's helping this girls, all five sisters do the protein reset right now. But then, so she's doing a launch Zoom with them. And then she told them, hey, after you do the protein reset next month, we're going to do the ultimate shredder and we're going to do the Power Sculpt 7. Okay. So that's kind of how Lainey is doing that with there. I have another friend of mine that owns a local CrossFit gym. And, when you own your own gym and you're a owner, you just take action. It's just something you do. So we showed them the whole Power Sculpt. I showed him what boards were. He went into boards, watched Bethany's videos, and then he sent me an Instagram post of him going through the whole 7-day thing for his whole gym. I was like, hallelujah, thank you. I love you. Like he literally took all the information and redid an 8-minute video for all of his clients at his gym. So if anyone's interested, message, let us know. Bethany's going to go through next Wednesday, January 21st at 5:30 p.m. If you like, it's going to be more of a Q&A. If you want to know and level up on the Power Sculpt beyond the protein reset, that she's making herself available for you. And again, if you're like, I don't want to coach people that way, then it's not your thing, right? Shackley has all these other products, but we're just trying to open it up. And we know there's some of you that would want to do that. So that's what's winning. That's really what's wins for us. And I think it can win for a lot of you others, but hopefully this whole framework of good to great is valuable for you to just have the right mindset going into there. So Allison, come back on, or you weren't on yet. So tell these guys what you have all set up to coach and lead and just get that flywheel going with just using the protein reset.
Yeah, so guys, the protein reset is obviously very powerful just by itself. And then adding on the extra bundle that Shackley created for us with the multivitamins and the shakes, like right after. Incredible. So basically, what you want to do is, I know a lot of us came from Modere and we were running, well, and I know personally a lot of our teams were running sale to sale, right? Like it was just very high volume. So like now people are always like, well, how can I reach out to my people? There's no sales happening, like blah, blah. This is a perfect opportunity to run from group to group. So always have a group running. So like next Monday, the 19th is going to be a group for us. Well, then I might have one the first weekend of February or right after Valentine's Day. So I'm constantly funneling people through the group. If someone can't do it now, okay, well, I will message you when the next group happens. And then you're constantly staying in contact with these people. So keeping a list is super important. And then right in boards under the protein resource folder, I just did the coaching, the reset. So it's basically, you click on it. It's basically going to tell you like, you put people in a chat together. You can even put it through Project Broadcast if you want, or just like, I just like to do it on Messenger through Messenger. And every day it's 2 prompts. So for 5 days, you're going to constantly prompt people like, how are they feeling? Do this before you start. And then day one, checking in the morning, evening, asking for pictures. They can post pictures with their sparkling protein. This is so good for you guys to like keep like screenshotting and putting in your stories and like showing people what we're doing and why we're doing it. So It's just right there for you. Just plug and play with the coaching, and then it's actually going to coach you right out into that system with the vitamins and the shakes. People can continue on because probably 98% of your people are already taking a multivitamin from Walmart and a protein powder from GNC. They can just switch it out and actually feel the difference. So that's going to be like the easiest way, but from group to group is going to be like the easiest way to follow up with people if you have people interested.
Yeah, and I know you used this framework before, and it like just recruited a ton of people
Hmm.
because they would go through in the group, they would meet other people and build camaraderie. So, guys, this doing this really, really works. So if you see that in there, anything else?
I think that's it. Just keep doing that, and then like you're gonna see the people that like are obviously like interacting the most, helping other people. Like those are the people then you can bring on as ambassadors because they're already doing what they need to be doing. They're already engaged, they're already doing the thing. So it just leads to that easier.
Yeah, and if you didn't see this is a screenshot out of boards, you guys like this is like literally this is like $100,000 game plan in here. I
Mhm.
mean, you could take everything that's built in here with the stories, the story flow, and get in here and like do the protein reset, obviously yourself, but just build out and just start to be the person that like if you're excited about it, have it be your hedgehog and just go to town and just start to do that because we've seen so many people win getting groups on repeat every 2 weeks. I mean, there was people doing them like groups every 2 weeks or launching every week. So this is absolutely powerful. And then another thing that Andrea did for us is another layer is this whole what Allison was just talking about. She put this in the Be Ageless group. So if you go into Be Ageless, they're in guide 18. She basically put everyday prompt all the way through a prep day. There's a ready for the reset video, all the way through the same prompts that we were just talking about, but now it's also in Be Ageless. And so you know how we say we want to add tag people, but here's I change it up a little bit. It's add tag coach and then win. But here's the cool thing. I think you guys know this, or if you're newer and you don't know the strategy, you tag someone on prep day, they get started next week, and then they keep going to day one, day two, tag them in there. About 2 months from now, maybe they fall out, they aren't using products. They're always in there. So when the other people start to come in and comment, they're going to get notifications and they're going to go, oh man, when I did that protein reset, I felt good. Man, I got results with that. So just another layer to get people into the community, get people in that group, coach them through. So again, if you're just someone you're like, I only have one person, and should I do a chat or should I, maybe it's better to do this. So again, you look at where your business is right now, and so we're giving you a lot of lanes to run down to maximize this. And I love doing the group thing because once you get them into Be Ageless, it's like a 24/7, party in there where they're learning about all sorts of other products, right? So take advantage of that. Let the selling happen inside that group, and you don't even have to do the selling. You just take orders when they get in the group. Okay. Okay. So one other strategy, speaking of, finding a hedgehog or finding something fun, I'm gonna have Lisa McGuire jump in here and just share what we call what's working now, a highlight of something successful that they just did the other day. So Lisa, jump in.
Happy New Year, everybody. What's up, guys? So, I want to share with you guys a little bit about something that a handful of team members and myself actually just recently participated in. And I have some team members that have been doing this over the last couple of months. But last week, shout out to one of my team members, Chris Moyer, who put together an event that was incredible. And maybe some of you saw posts that I actually did share in the Impact Collective team page. And I want you all to know that I read all the questions that were in there. So, what I want to do right now is I want to share a little bit more details with you guys, cover some of the answers to those things, and just kind of share a little bit more about just another way that we might not have been considering building our business. Just new year, new opportunities, some things just to talk about. So I want you all to think, do you want to build? Do you want to grow? But mainly, do you want to multiply? We can all grow by addition, but there's a whole different level of growth when you grow by multiplication. And when you are meeting or you're in a situation where you can possibly be face to face in front of multiple people at a time, you guys, that's growing by multiplication. So, like Wayne said, Wayne's talked a lot about hedgehogs tonight. There's a lot of ways that you guys can build your business. And, we all just looking at this screen, we're all in different seasons of life and of business. And this may or may not be something that you've done in the past. It may or may not be something that, you're prepared to do. But I'm just going to ask tonight that you are open to learning a little bit more about maybe building your business in this way. And I'm going to share with you why, because I'm going to call myself out and say guilty as charged. This was not something that I really had on my radar. Okay. I came from years of party plan. So, packing up and going out and doing events was no stranger to me, but I want to share with you guys something that happened last week that I was just kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like people really need to hear this. Okay. So if you really want to look towards results, I really want you guys to consider what we're about to talk about. Now, last week it was an event that lasted about 2.5 hours. Okay. It was a fundraising event for a nonprofit that my friend and one of our team members, Chris Moyer, supports. So we got together at a home. It was about 2.5 hours, and we got seven customer orders that totaled about $1,600 in sales. Okay. So I want you guys to think about this. $1,600 times 30%, because they were all first orders. That was $480 in immediate profit. Okay, right there, $480. Okay, then she got 2 Star Club bonuses because she had over 6 orders and over $1,000 in sales. So that's another $150. So that's $630 in profit. 2.5 hours. Somebody drop in the chat how much money that is per hour. I'm making somebody else do the math for once. I love that. Yeah. Who did the math? I'm waiting. I'm trying to see. All right, I'll tell you, but you guys do the math. That's $252 an hour. $252 an hour. Raise your hand if you all make $252 an hour at your full-time job. If you do, I want to go to work with you. I'm going to call you and I'm going to get your number and I'm going to send a resume. But for real, you guys think about what we're saying. $252 an hour. We were in and out in no time. It was actually enjoyable. And several of those customer orders went on subscription. In fact, it might have been all of them, but I don't know that for sure. So I'm going to say several. So what's going to happen next month when those orders ship again? This time, Chris, if she's at the 30%, she's going to make $480 again. Okay. From the event that we did last week. It wouldn't surprise me if she's at the 40 percentile, and at that, she'd make $640 again. So what I want you all to know is that we left there, okay? I came from Party Plan, except I was selling jewelry, okay? You can't eat jewelry. You can't wash your face with jewelry. So jewelry doesn't go down the drain. So once you have it, okay? It's not a rinse and repeat type of product. There's no residual to jewelry. So we started at zero month after month after month after month, and we did this and did this and did this. You want to talk about a job and on a wheel. So what I want you guys to think about is if we committed to one event a month, one. I'm not saying go out 2-3 times a week unless you want to and you love that kind of thing. If we committed to one event per month, what would happen to our business? What would our business look like a year from now? I want you to think about all of those different people that we would be putting ourselves in front of. All of those different people that we get to have a face-to-face conversation with and talk to them about their wants, their needs, their health goals. I mean, we were able to sell everything that night from liquid biocell to peptide wands to mascara to Vivix and BioCell. I mean, because everybody's different, everybody's wants and needs are different, but we really, really were able to put things in front of people and really create something that was going to work for them. But if that happens just once a month, you guys, and those orders compound over time, what could your business look like? And I don't know about you, but when I was thinking about this and I was like, man, like first of all, like I said, it was fun, but we were talking about product. You're going to become so much more fluent in talking about the product. You know, earlier we were talking about done is better than perfection. We made mistakes. We screwed things up. Chris and I met together on the phone the next morning and we said, okay, what went great? What could we change? And now I'm going to give you guys a couple more details of how we actually rolled through the event, but there were things that we didn't do perfectly. Okay. There were things that we did too much of. There were things we didn't do enough of, but you know what? We did it. We still got $1,600 in orders. There's still a couple orders I believe that Chris has coming in. And guess what? We've committed to doing at least one event per month because it's going to give us the opportunity to get in front of new people all of the time. So I want to just share with you a couple logistics because this is what people were asking in the chat. First of all, we want to keep the snacks and the food that a hostess or wherever the party or wherever the event is going to be, we want to keep those very light and minimal. Okay. Sometimes we don't even need them at all. But if you have a hostess that refuses to not put anything out, just keep it very, very light because we really want the focus to be on what it is that we are sharing. We don't want the focus to be on, cannolis and snacks and cheese because we had enough of that in December. So here's what we did. We had 3 stations and they were all a little bit separate from one another, but close enough so that everybody was mingling in the same area. Yes, there were cannolis and I took them home. So the leftover ones. So we had protein mocktails with the sparkling protein set up in one section. We had a second section that was liquid biocell, Vivix, and trim. And then we had a third little section that was the youth anti-aging skincare line, the peptide ones, and the Simply 5. That's it. So I want you all to know too that if you're going to do an event, Chris and I were on the phone and we were like, should we bring this? Should we bring this? Should we bring this? And we were like, you know what? No, that's going to be too much. So here's what we want. If it doesn't fit in one bag, it's too much stuff. Because if you put out everything that Shackley has to offer, we're going to there's not enough time in an evening. We want to stick with the heroes that we know people love, that people get results from, that people stick with. And guys, listen, we want it to be worth our while too. So I'm just here to say, I'm not afraid to share the products that have the highest PV. And that's what those 3 pockets of products are. So that's where our focus was. And it was fantastic. We kept it simple. Okay. So what we did was we took a few minutes, literally just like a couple minutes in the very beginning, and we introduced Shackley. We introduced the Live Age Free mission. We talked a little bit about longevity. And then we kind of went and shared a little bit about 1 minute about each station, protein and the importance of protein with muscle and healthy aging and longevity. We talked a little bit about BioCell and trim, and then a little bit of the anti-aging. And then we just let everybody know that we were going to be there. Kind of Chris was at one end, I was at the other end, and we were just talking to people about what it was that they wanted, what their goals were, whether it was, fitness, health related, or beauty, whichever it was. And we made recommendations for them. We had products, little bits of products for them to try And then, it was just a matter of that. And then we took orders. I would suggest a paper order form so you can get them done quickly and then go and put the orders in yourself a little bit later. So that way your time is spent actually talking with the guests, getting to know the guests, and helping address their needs. There are order forms and boards. There are also more additional resources for at-home events and boards. And there's going to be more to come because I'm actually going to be working on some of those right now. And then the last thing that I want to share about events is that while we're doing an event, we want to invite the people that are there that we're meeting to host their own event. It's always going to be easier and probably more effective to, if you want to schedule another event, to get one scheduled right then and there while the people are there and they're interested in several of the products that we have, but they may not have the budget to buy them all. They might just buy a few. But what we can do is offer them something, whether it's a product or show them how they could be the one making the money or helping support a nonprofit. You guys, there's so many opportunities and options of things that we can do with events. But I am a huge believer in booking event from event and getting into expanding those networks. You will never run out of people to talk to. And again, you might be hearing me right now and you might be like, the light bulb is going off, because imagine if next month we did this again and there's another $1,500–$1,600 in sales. Okay. And a lot of those new customers go on subscription. And then the customers from this month, that subscription runs again. Well, guess what? That's how we're going to compound, and that's how we're going to scale by multiplication. And it really, really hit me when I thought about this. I was like, 2.5, 3 hours of time, $252 an hour. That's not so bad. I can do that once a month. Not only can I, because we all can, I'm willing to do that once a month. So, or more. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope those little details about the specifics of how we did it is helpful, but I would strongly advise you guys to consider making an event can be anything. It can be anything that you are doing that is face to face with somebody. It could be a coffee shop with 2 people. It could be invite 10 people to your house. It can be, go into a PT office and do a collagen event. We have team members that have done that and made $700 in profit in one night. So there's lots and lots of ways, but I can't stress enough how that combination of what we're doing online plus the in-person events, and really just kind of taking time, looking at your business, evaluating what are you doing right now with your time that's working, that's giving you the ROI that you are looking for, and what is it? And maybe make some shifts and some adjustments to those things that might not be. And maybe this could be something that fills that gap instead. So I'm doing them and I'm excited about it. And I'm looking forward to maybe coming back next month and sharing about how next month's event has gone. I did see a question in the chat. What are we giving as far as people that are hosting? I really think that's going to be something that's going to be individual to you. Whatever somebody is really interested in, but walking out without that night. Hey, I'd be happy to give you a bottle of liquid BioCell if you get five friends in a room. I'd do that in a second. So, I think that that's really up to us. We can kind of decide from there, but even better is taking a look and helping other people that maybe want to see that, wow, so-and-so just made $500 tonight. How many times would you be willing to do this in a month's time to make $500? So thanks guys, but I hope you guys all start to do them, and we'll keep you posted on how they're going.